A medical emergency usually arrives as a surprise. So how can you prepare for what you don't know is coming? Don't you just have to get up and get to the emergency room? Well, let's ask the advice of a physician who was named one of Cleveland Magazine's top doctors, Dr. Craig Bates. Dr. Bates is an emergency medicine physician at Metro Health, as well as the medical director for Metro Life Flight. So what better person to ask about emergency rooms? But, I mean, how do we prepare for health emergency? Isn't the most important thing just get yourself to the hospital?
Well, getting to the hospital quickly and safely is always a concern, but I think it's also important to have a bigger plan, especially with older adults. You may have more health challenges. It's a little more complicated when you go to the hospital, so making sure you have the right information together and you have the right resources in terms of the people that are going to help you or can maybe even speak for you if you're not able to give that information. That's very important.
Okay, just like you prepare for a tornado or, you know,
right,
storms or whatever else,
right,
you got to be ready to go. So right, I understand you kind of put together a list of things that we should be doing. What's the first thing most important?
I think having a list of folks who can speak for you if you need it, if they're not with you, contact information for them so they can be reached, to give additional information or background on you. Because even if you were familiar with our medical record system, new things could have happened, and it's always better to have someone in person to kind of verify information and make sure it's correct so we can take the best care of you.
Okay, and they should know what's going on. And to know what's going on, I mean, I suppose one of the things to do is to have your plan and let them know if something's going to happen, where do they fit into this whole thing?
Exactly, so. Yes. So I think, you want to make sure you assume, because depending on what's wrong with you, I mean, we saw over 100,000 people last year, everything from a splinter to major trauma or, heart attacks or strokes. Some things take longer than others when you go in. So I think being prepared, having like, having something to read or like a tablet to read on or whatever, making sure that bring a change of clothes in a bag just in case because you need to be admitted. I'm sure someone could go home and get it, but it's just a lot. If you have less things to worry about for your visit, you're going to be more focused on what matters, which is helping figure out what's going on with you and helping you get better.
Yeah, like have a go bag just in case anything happens.
Exactly.
So what's next? I think you talked about health history with me before, right?
Yes.
So. Because the doctors don't have time probably to ask a bunch of questions or can't.
Well, even if they do, it's good to have have some stuff in writing. I mean, when people come in and they're prepared, they have a family member who can help them, and they have a list of their medications and their health history. It's incredibly helpful. Because today's electronic medical records are very fast. We can look things up, but if someone's there to give you information is verified, there's no chance it could be out of date, and we get that information in real time while we're talking to you, that's very helpful. Mm-hmm. And it can make all the difference. If you have a minor problem, of course it doesn't matter. But if you come in with, say, stroke-like symptoms, seconds really matter. And so the medical team, and it may feel like the Spanish Inquisition sometimes, they're asking you all these questions. They want to know, how long the symptoms gone on. They want to know what medications you're on because things about your health history may dramatically alter the path you take and what care we can provide you. And that stuff is very important. And imagine if you have a circumstance where an older adult can't speak because they're having a stroke, for instance, and they lose their ability to speak, at least temporarily. And it can be very tense trying to figure things out. And it's always helpful to have someone who can kind of speak for the patient, knows them pretty well. And also, I think it's important to think about who can make decisions for you. I mean, there's legal ways to do that with healthcare power of attorney and such like that. And this has to be figured out in advance. This isn't something you want to figure out in the middle of a crisis.
Oh, no. I mean, and you need to talk it over with that advocate that's going to be with you because they need to know all these things where you have them, even if they have to grab them on the way. So
that's right.
Excellent advice, I think, for our viewers. So don't wait for an emergency. Expect the unexpected and prepare for it right now before it happens. Follow Dr. Bates' prescription and create a health emergency plan and then share it with your family. This ounce of prevention could be worth more than a pound of cure. My thanks to Dr. Bates for joining us here today.
Learn more by calling Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or click to www.metrohealth.org. Next, guarding against inadequate care.